Well, hello and welcome to the bronze medal game here at the Ostrava 2021 World Para Ice Hockey Championships A-Pool competition. RPC against South Korea here inside the Ostrava arena. And we're set for two great games today. These two have already faced each other in the quarterfinals. Chance for RPC to return to third place ways against the team that has kind of got used to sitting in the bronze position. In Torentev, RPC have a man in form. 15 points in this tournament, 8 goals, 7 assists. Along with players like Kamzin, Petrov, Galkin. They have had players that are chipping in from all over. Shikov, 14 points, Petrov, 13, Kamzin, 11, Lisov, 10. Ruslan Batirsin has some wonderful players at his disposal. Semi-finals, just a step too far against the Canadians. But my, did they put in a test. An injury to first choice netminder Lee Jae-woong means that Choi is drafted in as emergency cover. Their issues have been in front of the goal, though, rather than defending it. Just the 4 goals scored, just the 28 shots on target. It's an issue that Han Man-soo will have to clear up going forwards. But here they have the opportunity to pick up the bronze once again, as they did in 2019, as they did in 2017. 15 and 13 belonged to Team RPC. Alongside myself, Alan March, Jono Bell. This is going to be an interesting tussle. Who wants the bronze the most? You enforce changes for the Koreans, but Yu Man-gyun is a fairly decent shot stopper in his own right. He's 47 now, though. You feel like RPC's speed and ability to create chances could be a huge issue for them. Bobby Esposito here as your referee, as we are just about to get underway. People of the Czech Republic have turned up to the Ostrava arena once again to see some world-class para ice hockey. We can't have the crowds that we had last time out. These ones have been pretty noisy all week. Well, away we go then. Jono, where's your head at with this one? Is it continuation of bronze medal victories for South Korea, or are RPC going to take that crown back?
Yeah, really interesting one ahead, isn't it, Alan? I think we saw an RPC side last night against Canada really give it all they've got. They tested themselves the whole way in what was a highly emotionally charged game in the end, and they just fell short. How much left have they got in the tank? As far as Korea are concerned, you have to look at this one today, and apart from game 1 against the host nation, the Czech Republic, which of course they won 2-0. You're looking and you're thinking to yourself, do they feel like this is the best chance that they have and really giving it all they have to win a game of hockey? Of course, they beat Norway 2-1 in the quarterfinals. That was in overtime. They made that look a lot harder work than perhaps we suspected it would require. That was all credit to Norway, who we've seen all week battle right to the death. But RPC, you'd expect, if they do have much left, to go full throttle right from the start. And here they are now with the play on the right-hand side. That was good link-up between 13 Shikov and 18 Sokolov, who you don't really want to be getting in a battle with, and the Koreans did there. And the nation that have conceded the most penalties at these championships concede yet another one. Over 15 now conceded. As you see the teeing call, a simple one for the American referee, as Jung Sung Hwan, the number 14. We're yet to see the best of him this week. He will want to dazzle today, but he's going to spend a large chunk of these opening few minutes in the box as Han Min-soo tries to keep spirits high for the Koreans. Not an easy week for them. Dealt a big blow with the injury to Lee Jae-wung in goal, but as you said, Alan, Yuman Gyun has experienced himself, certainly been busy this week, but he may be open here. Galkin back for Kamzin, cuts it across, good play this. Petrov on the outside. Lisov is the option in the drop pass to Lisov, the captain now. Central position in front of Kamzin. Maybe too intricate from RPC, who are using this power play, of course, to try and score, but also a chance to just hone their early passing and show that they've still got that chemistry out there on the ice, which we've seen all week. Big hit from Lisov. As that drifts back. But the Koreans with you in goal. He faced 28 shots against the USA in the group stage, conceded 8, saved 20. And it's a save from him there. And it just shows, Alan, why these coaches rotate as often as they do. Had Lee Jae-wung been boasting all the ice time for Korea, we would have had a pretty rusty Yuman Gyun in between the pipes. But here he is, he's looking pretty fresh.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's very experienced. He's very competent. He's very much the first choice today with that injury to Lee. Sokolov tussling, a minute left of the power play, and as Jono was saying, moving those white jerseys around, tiring them out, just as effective as actually scoring in this one. It will give them advantage the longer it goes. RPC themselves, 42 goals for 137 shots. 7-0, 9-0, 18-1, 7-0. That was their opening 4 games. But my, did they test the Canadians in that semi-final. 2-1 defeat. Myachin's goal from 2 down. Just couldn't find another here. Can't quite find an opening, which is interesting. We're down to 10 seconds of the power play. Back on the blue line it goes. And in a matter of moments, back on the ice will come another white jersey on the goal line, left-hand side, trying to just poke at it here. They're still going to keep this in. Shikov trying, and then all of a sudden, back to 5-on-5. Here's the break. This is Jung Sung-hwan. And that will be offside. It just dropped back behind the blue line. But that is wonderful defensive work to kill the power play, Jono.
It is good work from the Koreans. It's a staggering stat that you reel off there, Alan, though, about the number of goals RPC have scored. 42 in the tournament, and we've had 106 overall. So for every 5 goals we've had in these championships, pretty much 2 of them you can count as being RPCs. It's quite unbelievable, and it is why they have 5 RPC players in the top 6 point scorers of these championships. As Korea now with a chance themselves, it opens up. Oh, it was the chance for Kim Young-sung, the number 12, and you just wonder if he was more conscious of the red jersey in front of him than he was the direction of the puck there, tried taking it away from the defender, and then lost control completely. Lost the chance as he just checks back into his more usual defensive position and tries to scrap around for this loose puck, which is going to be picked up by Ryu Ji Hyun, who scored the opener in that opening game against the Czechs, but there's only been 3 goals since from the Koreans. A week ago, of course, now. Amazing how time has flown in these championships, but I think the fatigue of some of these players may tell you that it's felt like a bit longer than a week, particularly after how much time they'd had off prior to this tournament. RPC is trying to get back in full flow. Very difficult to pick themselves up after the disappointment of last night, but I'm sure they'll have taken heart from how far they have come. They have not let themselves down at all in getting to a bronze medal game, and in for a shootout here with the 2-time world bronze medalist Korea. Nothing separating them at the first break. Scoreless between RPC and the Republic of Korea. We'll be back very shortly.
Away they go again then, and another instant chance here. This is very much the area that Young likes to get himself into. He just seems to apply the brakes. He's got to go and retrieve one of the blades, but they'll keep this in the blue line now, and well, at least they should have done. That was a little weak from Choi Kwang-hyuk. Now it's RPC desperately trying to stay on side. They have done neatly as well. It's Volkov on the near side losing out as Shikov just showing that he's around. Yang Dong-shin feeling the force in that corner. And now Cho trying to create a little something, but straight into the gloves, and Kazatkin clings on. Well, neither netminder will consider themselves overly stretched so far. They've had about equal amount of touches. But neither really in anger. This one immediately drifts into centre ice, so the Koreans got to try again. Dispossessed, no. Looked like they'd given it away for a moment there, RPC, and instead they've turned defence into attack at a great speed and a great goal. Lisov with the afterburners, and he does it all on his own. That is simply brilliant. It's his 5th goal of the competition. Drifts over the blue line, keeps it on the right, plays it to the left. Oh dear, he'll only ever see that in a replay. Brilliant work, takes it from right to left and dispatches it, Jono, with ease.
Yeah, brilliant from the captain. Really grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and letting rip there. Past Shuman Gyun. He saw room up top. Did Dmitry Lisov. And he fired it home. Maybe a chance here for a 2 in a minute. Terentev, that's a really, really good interception from Lee Jong-kyung. That was vital. And the Koreans need to wake up here, Alan. It felt like the game was being brought into a bit of a lull, and I wonder if the Koreans have been coaxed in somewhat by RPC. Maybe making the Koreans think, hey, we're just as tired as you. But then out of nowhere, there's Lisov firing on the burners. It's a lovely left-bladed shot, taking it away from the defender to his right. 5:40 on the clock. And Lisov with, as you say, Alan, 5th of the tournament. Such an influential player.
Absolutely. We need to check his sledge for an engine, though. He was motoring all of a sudden as he got over that blue line. This one's hammered forward, aiming at least at the crease and making Kosatkin remember he's in a contest. Ryu poking, but not succeeding, and now an open on this left-hand side. Terentev, oh, whipped the shot in. Second one comes in, it's wide. Well, there's a real swing and a miss in the build-up to that. This is really neat. Kuznetsov. Can they make a second here before we reach 8 minutes? And at the moment, it is everybody fighting in a white jersey. Can they not only hold out RPC, but also try and create some threats of their own? Changes. Lee enters the ice. Cho on the far side. They're going to try and steal this, and they have done. RPC do need to be careful. Young Seung Hwan, 14 for Korea as you look at it. He can be very, very dangerous. We haven't seen it nearly enough in this tournament. Only in bursts. A few moments ago there, he just about stole the puck and got away, but still RPC in control. Petrov goes sliding into the boards with Lee. That one maintained by Galkin. Fed off to Lisov once again. Has he got another? He has, you know. Oh, well. Captain's double. And just this time, completely different goal. The first one, it's all about hit. This one, it's a long build-up. It eventually finds its way to him from Galkin. There's a couple of bodies in the way. Maybe that's blocking what you can actually see in the build-up here. It's Kamzin who's just loitering. Choi Kwang-hyuk isn't really helping. And Lisov Jono at the double.
Yeah, captain leading by example and providing just the double tonic to get RPC over last night's semi-final. And this happened again just after the first goal. Terentev in and trying to cut it across, and that's twice now the Koreans from a face-off after a goal have seen Terentev bomb down their right-hand side and almost supply a quick-fire second. Here he is again, Terentev. He's in the mood. Across it goes for Shikov, who couldn't get close to it, well occupied by Choi Si-woo. But the Koreans really struggling in this one. RPC, we wondered if they'd have another level, and they've shown it as a high stick call by Bobby Esposito. So a brief pause in proceedings there. But Dmitry Lisov, 6 goals for the tournament for him now. Is he trying to make a late dart to beat that man on the top of the RPC standings, I wonder? Terentev with 8 goals already. Lisov scoring his 5th and 6th today. And, of course, he's already got 6 assists on top of that as well coming into the match. Brilliant from the RPC captain. Korea left wanting the first intermission, I think. But we've still got 5:40 remaining as Miachin comes in. Big goal, of course, from him in yesterday's game against Canada. Fortuitous, but well-deserved. Shikov. Oh, it was just tapped away. Picked back up by Petrov, and that will be seen to. Korea with little respite. Now maybe. Jung Sung Hwan. He's not been one-on-one often with a red jersey yet. It's an angle. Oh, he flashed it across. That had Kazakhin worrying, as he just starburst out onto the ice to try and get a little nick on it. Didn't need it in the end. But a moment for RPC just to remember that Korea and their one-man marching offensive band are able to provide something in return. But like I say, Alan, in the build-up to that, we've not seen Jung Sung Hwan often enough one-on-one with the red jersey. And I have to say, Galkin, really impressive already in this bronze medal game. Number 15 for RPC, as Lisov looks for a first period hat-trick, and you wouldn't bet against it. Force wide, tries to play backside, and eventually away from the Koreans once again. But this man here, Galkin, Alan, we've talked about the likes of Hickey, Pauls, Baka, as superb defensive performances so far these championships, but Galkin deserves a lot of credit. We've not been able to see a lot of him in his defensive capacity just because of who RPC have faced up against. But in the bigger games in the last few days, he has stepped up to the occasion, as have RPC. They're on course for a bronze medal here against the Republic of Korea. We go to a break with RPC 2 ahead.
What we do know is that when Korea have scored, they've won. When they haven't, they've been battered. Oh, wow. You sees that one come off his right side, but how much he knew will be interesting. Comes in battling, Lisov collecting, comes from the goal line to try and create an opportunity. This one will come in from deep. That whacks against the white jersey of Jung Sung Hwan. And now on the far side, they'll start again right in front. Oh, double chance, and it goes wide again. Well, the first one was deflection, came straight back to him. He was able to pull the trigger nice and quickly, but it flashed wide of the post. Well, the opening game, they won 2-0, and it was 8-0, 8-0. That close encounter against Norway, 2-1, and it was 9-0 against the USA. The omens are that they won't score and they'll concede a few more. Well, Jono, if they don't start to step up a little, that's exactly what's going to happen here. They're taking them on their helmet. They're lucky because that is almost an open net. But they have got to improve. Otherwise, this is going to go exactly the way of the form books. They won't score and they will ship a few.
Yeah, well, defensive guile from Korea in the big games is something that they build themselves on. And here we just haven't seen it yet. 6s and 7s. Terentsev trying from a really tight angle. Yu Man-gyun had that near post sealed. Terentsev this time coming from the right. And that's better from Korea, just forming that mid-block there near the hash mark and trying to match their opponents 1-for-1, but that's all right, getting the defensive part right. They've got to have an outlet. They've not got it. It's coming back again. Down the middle they come. Keepers had to come out and they've missed it. How have they missed it? Terentev snapping at it at the far stick. Was unable to turn the puck home. But Yuman Gyun said, look, if you're not defending, I might as well come out. And he sold his goal. And thankfully, wasn't left to pay the price. Big hit there from Yang Dong-shin. That must have been out of frustration, but the RPC player on the receiving end really felt it. And is that Volko, I wonder, the number 23? Hard to see from over this side, but a bit of Korean bite finally. Something they have lacked, but I suppose it's all right having a bit of bite, Alan. You've got to try and nibble your target. They can't catch them at the moment. Volko on the receiving end, it certainly looked like a firm hit. And we hope he's okay.
It is Ilya Volkov, and 36-year-old from Moscow is... He's rolling from side to side. He's not comfortable at all. Whatever it is. little head massage. I'm not sure he can feel that through the helmet, but I mean... Each to their own. Galkin, maybe it's his ego being massaged. How on earth does that not go in? Shikov, he'll have nightmares about that. He will know he should now be level with Terentev on 15 points. He should have 6 and 9. Horkop is at 6 and 7, so never mind 6 and 9. He has definitely felt that. He's off for a rest. Maybe he can have one of those helmet massages from Plotnikov that Galkin was having a moment ago. Well, Ostrava has seen some fascinating action over the course of this competition. Day 6 isn't going to get any less. Just here in this one, Jono, we're just waiting for the Koreans to kind of turn up a bit. There's less than 2 minutes to go. It's not been horrific, but it could have been. There's one open net missed. There's one partial open net missed. And a couple of chances that have just been blocked by sheer fortune. Can they?
It's been sluggish. It's been sluggish from the Koreans, Alan, and RPC. We're not surprised by them anymore. Day 1, we may have been. We've been saying all the way through the group stage last week, and we didn't know what to expect against some of the Group A sides. Well, we've had answers in the last few days, and we're impressed. And here comes Kamzin with the shot. Round the back it goes. Spills out. Kamzin was the first one on the scene alongside the Korean goaltender, Kuznetsov. Oh, that was gentle from him. Usually he's a bit more ruthless into the mixer than that. Galkin across. Much more impressive from him. But I know it's just the first period of this bronze medal game. We expect a long battle ahead. This man's got 2 of the goals. Lisov, the captain. He tries to take it a long way. Almost came unstuck. Galkin, though, very quick to read it. Oh, look at that. 3 out of the game. 4 out of the game. He just needed another red jersey up with him. Brilliant from Galkin. He has got the Koreans on strings. But just one period down here, you have to say, RPC, big induction for them at the A-Pool this week. The new kids in the class. And at the moment, they've been coming out with all A's. They'll want to cap it off with victory in this one. And at the moment, one period almost up. They are on course to upset the apple cart once again. 2-0 at the interval. That man with both goals, both brilliant finishes as well. Past a despondent Yu-Man Gyun. And you just wonder, the question at the start was how much do RPC have left in the tank after their semi-final defeat? They looked like they'd spent everything, but they still have some spare change. As far as the Republic of Korea are concerned, a big thumping against the United States of America before today. And it looks like they're still reeling from some of those bruises. Lisov adding insult to injury. But will there be a second peer response? Still half an hour to go in this one, Alan. And RPC the favourites, no doubt.
Absolutely. The double from Lisov. At least what RPC deserved. How much more do they deserve? How much more can they get against this South Korean resolute defence? The bronze medal game will continue after this break. Well, both sides out on the ice, but only one has managed to break the deadlock and carry on from there. It was a double strike from Lisov, the captain, the 31-year-old. Silver medalist, part of that roster that won in Sochi. And that very performance, obviously used as a driving force for some youngsters who would have watched that and thought, I want to be part of that team, see what they can do. And there's a good Korean contingent up in the stands. Locals not afraid to show their colours either. They've been involved today, but my word, they were involved in the fifth game against Norway. Vocal. They were appreciative, and at the end of the game, there was a real emotionally charged atmosphere inside the Ostrava arena. You have to say, Jono, if Korea can keep this tight in this second period, we've got a game on in the third. If they come out as sluggish and slowly as they did in the first period, I mean, that was exactly what I was talking about. Terentev just being gifted the puck by Choi Kwang-hyuk. And what I was trying to say was, John, if they can keep this at 2, maybe even get one themselves, we could be in for a cracker, but they've got to cut those errors out for a start.
Yeah, that's something we've mentioned before about Korea. They're very aggressive without the puck and aggressive in trying to win the puck back, but once they've got the puck, they're not aggressive enough themselves, and I don't think they've played too smartly with the puck. We don't have the luxury of seeing the stats as to how much time each team has had with the puck in their possession, but I think Korea would be towards the bottom end of those scales, not just for Group A, but I'd say throughout the whole tournament as well. And they are used to playing a lot of the game on the defence, but that means that when they do get the puck, for the times they do, they've got to be a lot better with it. And there we go again. Possession lost. Here come the red arrows of RPC. It's a 3-on-3, and shot wasn't able to go goalwards. It went round the back, and that sees Galkin come back to it. It was almost a good feed, but interception there was from Lee Jung-kyung. Jung Sung-hwan trying to get away. He's struggled to be one-on-one yet. That was a decent feed back. It's in the end ended up with Lisos, and it could be an assist here. Lisov looking for the hat-trick wide of the short side. But Korea have not found a way yet of being able to isolate Jung Sung-hwan, the number 14, one-on-one with a RPC defender. And if they do that, he poses a real danger. But plenty of times so far he's been outnumbered. On that occasion, he gave it to Lisov, and you can see almost a symmetrical play to what we had in the first period. If that puck is near his opponent, he will move it to the opposite side and get a shot away. He scored with the left blade in the first period, but off target there, Alan, on the right-hand side.
Chances for both sides is what we want to see. At the moment, they need to be clear-cut for the Koreans. Keep chasing back behind the RPC goal. He's just spending energy constantly. And that, well, is just tipped home in the end, isn't it? And Lisov has a hat-trick. And I'm not sure, Jono, in his career, he'll get any.
No, I mean, this here from RPC, because Netsov thinks they're offside. He gives up. Kamzin carries on, and that should have given Korea enough time to get around the puck. And then you find Petrov's free. Keeper gets a bit on it. Rio misses it. And Lisov says, thank you very much. He cannot believe his luck. No easier way to score a hat-trick. And RPC, they've worked for it, but I don't think they've had to get out of second gear for that. Very disappointing from the Koreans. Is the game now out of sight? Well, it's a big mountain for them to climb. Galkin, he doesn't want to stop there. Is he going to get on the score sheet? Maybe took it a stride too far. And RPC will keep it round the back of the net. That's Rishkov. We've already seen him score a spectacular goal in these championships. Part of the hat-trick he got, of course, against Norway. The lacrosse-like goal, serving it up on the end of his stick and flicking it over the shoulder of the goaltender. It's something you'd see almost in college hockey rather than on a world championship stage. But he did it. I wonder if he'll try it one more time before this game is out. Well, I'm sure he'll contemplate it if the game is out of sight, which at the moment it's looking like. But RPC not wanting to rest here. They've got well into double figures already in these championships. That was a dipping effort. It's going to keep them in the offensive zone. That was Maletsky battling for it. One man who's not got as much ice time as he may be used to. Now, too many players on the ice, I wonder. And this is the RPC bench. And you can see that the coach, not much of a reason to complain. 6 on the ice. It's not a quick enough change. And, well, maybe a moment for Korea to have some respite, Alan.
Well, they could use it, couldn't they? They will be absolutely gutted by the manner of that third goal. And yeah, there you can see the volume of bodies not quite acceptable. As you say, Ryu just coming in. If he's 2 or 3 inches to the left as he starts to come in, he can possibly flick that away whilst he's on the move, but it is agonising. And then for it to land and just be static on the goal line, well, that is not something you see on an all too regular basis. It is the Lisov show so far. The Dimitri double is now a treble. And Lisov loving life here in the Ostrava arena. Ruslan Bertishin is already starting the post-mortem as to why his team are down a player. Misjudgment, error, whatever you want to call it. It's happened. And the Koreans will be desperate to try and get one on this power play. Again, another one of those daft statistics you want to get rid of. They failed to score against America, which is going on for years. Not games, but years. Here in this tournament, when they've been beaten, they failed to score. So another little statistic they'd like to get rid of, if they can. And being an advantage in numbers right now is one way of doing it, but not if you're constantly giving it away. We've had nearly a minute here, Jono, and barely anything to show for it.
Yeah, they're not even making any punches here, Korea. Not even putting the opponent anywhere near the ropes. And RPC, I think the sense blood here, the forechecking on a 4-on-5. Terentev happy to go alone. And really, if he keeps going like this, zipping across the goal line, you sense the opportunity will come. And here it is, Terentev! Oh, nearly a shorthand goal. Blocked out by Yuman Gyun. But when you've got confidence like that, Alan, and you're Terentev, you just believe that hard work is going to pay off. You've seen it happen already for you. 15 times in total in these championships so far, goal and assist. And he just believes. I wonder what his coach is saying to him there. Point to the head. Maybe he's saying, don't be too zealous with it. Maybe be a bit more thoughtful and prudent, but that's not in Terentev's game. He's such an exciting player, isn't he, Alan? And in a team full of superb performers, it is difficult to have a standout man, but Terentev's goals speak for themselves.
Well, it does. And you're right, he's absolutely surrounded. It must be a dream to play in this side. I'm sure the Americans and the Canadians think that about their rosters as well, but really, these boys are part of that group now, and at the moment, they're 3 up in a contest to win a bronze here at the World Championships, a bronze that has been held by their opposition, not only at World Championship level, but at Paralympic level as well. And whilst they have both qualified for Beijing, you feel like the Koreans will be concentrating on how to get back to being in the top 3. You feel like the RPC, Jono, their concentration in Beijing for those games will be top 2. They don't want 3rd. They've come here at the Worlds. They've shown what they can do. They're very close to causing an upset against Canada. That has flown down the boards. They will want a top 2 place. I think that will be their minimum requirements. Here, they're 3 up and heading towards a very well-deserved bronze.
Yeah, and I think with Korea, we all remember in the 2017 World Championships, then the 2018 Paralympic Games, how they lit up the tournament on both occasions. This time around, not quite as exciting, a bit more dogged. No home crowd to impress, I suppose, but other factors involved as well. We've spoken about the issue in preparing for these championships, but that's the same for all these teams. Of course, Korea have had a long way to come in order to get to Europe here for these championships. But RPC as well. Oh, that was a decent effort. Hit the crossbar, perhaps. It certainly went close to the goal. Not close enough for Kazatkin to make the save. But RPC really have come in here and just replaced the Korea that normally would so handsomely be in the bronze medal place. It looks like they've been knocked down a spot. As Jung Sung Hwan tries to make a difference. He's met his match here this afternoon. That's Petrov. Savvy work from him. Kuznetsov, important part as well on the blue line. He's chipping away and not letting that puck go, and there's still another red jersey there. Finally, it breaks beyond it. Jung Sung Hwan, now he's one-on-one with Galkin. This is a proper battle, and Galkin is firm once again. This man has been extremely impressive for RPC. And that was an important moment there, because Jung Sung Hwan is a man that can normally get involved as, well, Kazatkin was out of his goal for a moment. He'd taken out a Korean, but had to make sure that it didn't catch up with him, because there was an open goal behind him. But Korea here, consolidating at the 3. They may nick a goal back. It's stretching a little bit more this game. RPC, though, once they get into a spell of possession, usually are able to just knock the metronome back in their path. Here's Choi trying to get around the side of Volko, but we've talked about team performance from RPC. We wondered if Korea would get a chance one-on-one with the defender. We've seen that twice now, Alan, and both times RPC, even as individuals, are just stronger than their opponent, and they're getting that puck away. We'll come back to that in a moment then. We're going to a break now. RPC have added a 3rd to their handsome total, and it's a hat-trick for the captain. We'll be back very shortly for the rest of the second period.
And we're hearing music that's synonymous to charge. Well, that's exactly what the Koreans need to do. They've got to try and put a little bit more pressure onto these red jerseys of RPC. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They look rather low in battery when it comes to energy levels, I have to say. I'm not sure whether you've noticed this, Jono, but for me, they look exceptionally tired. They had a real going over from the US, of course, yesterday, but every ounce of blood, sweat and tears went into that 2-1 victory against the Norwegians to secure that semi-final place. But they don't half look tired here.
Yeah, and you look at the group games they'll have played as well. Of course, if you are joining the tournament as a viewer at this final day, the group stages were divided into the top 4 teams would go into Group A and the next 4 teams in Group B. Well, Korea are in the top 4 after their bronze medal from 2 years ago, so they had much tougher games than RPC, and that will have ground them down in those opening 3 match days. And then, like you say, to require the victory as they did over Norway in the quarterfinals, that went to overtime, and then the exhaustion of then going into the USA game and getting a thumping. It can't have been easy. Preparation, injury to your main goaltender as well, let's not forget. As Bobby Esposito, the American, is speaking to Yan-Min Soo, and he wants a change to be reversed, it appears to me, with Choi Kwang-hyuk coming back on the ice. So I wonder if the Koreans tried pulling a fast one there that they weren't allowed to do. But officials happy, restart, equal strength. Fumble from the keeper as Yoo Man-gyun. At the moment, it's a hot potato, that puck. It's looking a bit edgy in that goal as it's going to come back towards them again. Slammed in by Kamsin, good save. That was from the right blocker. Don't know how much he or his teammates knew about it as Galkin. Kuznetsov. Well, Kuznetsov, for me, just loves to throw it into the mixer and see what happens. He's a real assassin back from the blue line. Loves to watch the carnage ensue in front of him. But Korea have survived on that occasion. And you just feel like whenever it goes the other end, it'll come straight back to them again. Whether it's through icing or whether it's through RPC picking the puck up from deep and coming back, it's pretty relentless. This man's been relentless. That was his first. Second hit on the right blade, but again high. And, well, the third one, he could have scored it with his head if he wanted to. It was there to be gobbled up. Licked in the end. But ultimately speaking, from RPC, it just shows, Alan, we've said this before, they score all types of goals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do indeed. And this is the thing for Korea. They just like one of any type. And even there, when Kazatkin flicks it back out, it manages to find its way to a red jersey. And now a chance to go around the outside for Terentev. Holds it up, plays it inside. It's behind him. That's not a joke, by the way. Hit against the outside again. And the Koreans have survived, have they? No, it's round the back. The whistle goes, though. And the helmet has maybe taken a bashing. Certainly got to wipe his eyes. Not sure whether he just got sprayed from close range. Needs some water, I think. Is what he's asking for. Yoo Man-gyun. Back on with the helmet. Back on with the game. No messing. certain sports, Jono, players just sort of roll around a bit, don't they? Normally on grass. What are we saying? What are we saying there? Not these lads. Well, we're going to have a break here. The pause was for Yu Man Gyun to wipe his eyes, but now it's the chance for us to take a natural break at 3-0 for RPC. Here we go then. The clock ticks for Korea. The bronze at the moment is heading very much for Team RPC. But once again, it makes its way into the RPC side of the arena, and they are the ones coming through. Well, that's sensational. It is driven in towards the crease at an angle. And Lichkov is just waiting. But this is brilliant from Maletsky. He's picked that up in his own blue line. He's weaved around and he has just drilled it towards Lichkov. And that is in. It's 4-0. And Yu Man Gyun is left lying on his back. The Koreans are flat out here, Jono. We're going to get a review on what? This is going to be interesting. Couldn't see anything in the build-up. Jono, for you, anything there?
Maybe a question of what got the last touch. I was going to say it's a really strange goal. Is it the glove there from Lichkov? It's a really strange goal because you look at the angle he's at here. He's had to really go 90 degrees as he hits that. It's a really impressive way that he's able to twist his body. He's used that left blade into the ice at the pick end to spin him 90 degrees towards the goal and put it in. But was it a clean goal off the blade? Does it hit the glove? Is it one that Bobby Esposito deems as unfair? I think he's gone to play it with the blade. I don't think it's meant to be with the glove. There's certainly no sled involved as I can see. I would be surprised if it's ruled out. And it's good.
Well, Maletsky's endeavour getting its reward. Quick explanation for Han Min-soo and his team. Drilled in and put in for the 4th time in this game. RPC 4, Korea nothing. We've still got 3 minutes remaining here in this penultimate period. Racing back there is Choi. He has had the puck wrenched away. 2 in both periods so far on the goal line on this left-hand side. Trying to turn was Petrov, but eventually the white jerseys got back and they might be able to start an attack of their own here. He's going to have to go from long. But easy enough for Kasatkin. Behind the cage then, can they make an opportunity here towards the end of this period? Oh, lofted, it was a nice idea. Lovely idea. The only thing that ended up in the net was Jung Seung Hwan, but lovely little idea. We obviously realised that Kasatkin was a little bit further off his off his line than normal. That's the first one drilled at him. He pads that down and back out it goes. Well, a little bit later on, this is beautiful. I tell you what, a little bit more and that goes in. That would have been superb, Jono.
Yeah, that is so much better from the Koreans there. I can't believe what I've just seen, because it's almost a completely different side that's just played that last 40 seconds on the ice for Korea. Who are the imposters in those white jerseys? The play leading up to that first counter was a lovely three-way play. Great counter charge. And the question is, how long can they sustain it? But that is enough to give them confidence that Korea, whether it is a tiredness issue or whether it is a quality issue or a bit of both, that should give them a bit of encouragement. But here come the merciless RPC down the other way, and Sokolov there wishing someone was waiting at the far stick. It's well recovered. Shikov, they cover so much of the ice, and Terentev just wasn't far enough in front of that to bury it home. You can see him again, Alan. Look how low he holds those sticks. He just keeps that puck so close to his sled. It means he can't get much power on the puck, but he doesn't need to when he's got such good placement and awareness of where everyone is around him. Really interesting style when you look at so many of the other players who obviously hold their stick quite towards the ends. And Terentev, in his own way, is a fantastic player who I've really enjoyed watching over the course of this week. And it just adds a new dimension now to these World Championships, because, of course, RPC, 5 years in the making, this for them. They're back, and they have certainly made themselves known. It's going to be fascinating Paralympic Games. We know the 5 teams that have already qualified. These are 2 of them. The United States and Canada, the other 2. The Czechs will be there as well, as Terentev's one-on-one tried to use the support. It's come, albeit late, but Sokolov keeping it alive. This would be tight here to squeeze one in before the third, but they might just do it. There's the angle, there's the goal, and they could have used the extra 2 seconds if they wished as well. But Sokolov biding his time, smashing it past Yu Man-gyun into the onion bag, and Korea 5 down. And Yu Man-gyun, he just wants to rest. There we go. Makes the stop, or tries to initially, and then just stays rooted to the ice as that gap yawns further. The bronze medal, surely RPCs. They are going to be on the podium at the first time of asking after promotion from the B pool. And they, in the process, will move Korea down a spot. Big third period to come for Korea, just to try and restore some pride. As I said, Alan, before that 5th goal there, we saw a period of play from Han Min-soo's side that we just hadn't seen all game. It felt like a rarity, actually, as far as the week is concerned. But RPC, they just are not tiring at all.
No, it's going to make the A group of the next World Championships very, very interesting, isn't it? Because RPC, South Korea, USA, Canada, that's how it would look. Lisov completing his hats off, Rytkov and Sokolov. And Sokolov with just 2 seconds left to play. Well, it is a decent day's work so far. There's still 1 whole period to come. So you've got no excuses for going anywhere. And of course, get all your snacks ready for later for the grand final. Bronze medal game, 1 period to go. RPC 5, South Korea nothing. So a change in the net then. Choi Hyuk-jun, 49 years of age, so it's not exactly the youth policy because Yu was 47. But Yu, there he is, getting a break. Had an issue with his eyes momentarily during that second period. I think it was more a case of something he sprayed up into his visor and just coming into his eyes at the same time. Question for you, Jono. We're looking at the ages of this Korean team, and are they on the cusp of what needs to be a big shake-up? They need some fresh talent. You know, we talked about Yu, 47. He's just been replaced by Choi Hyuk-jun between the pipes, 49. Jang Dong-shin, we see him getting plenty of ice time, number 20. He's 45 as that one's rifled in. Choi Bae-suk, 11. He's 41. Kim, 42. Park, 48. Lee Jong-kyuk, 28, 48. There's a lot of 40-plussers in this roster. If they're going to finish fourth, then maybe now's the time for them to say, right, we've got to start building again, accepting that they are now the fourth best side in the world, not the third best. And fair play to some of those players I've mentioned, by the way. They've been a pivotal reason as to why they're third best in the world and second at one point in time. But is it now that they have to think, right, let's do a shuffle. Let's see what happens next?
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult one because the Korean roster, as it is today, is the side that for the last decade has brought them the success, the surprise success of the silver in 2012. Could save that from Kazakhin. And then, of course, some of the most memorable occasions in their program's history in the last few years. Obviously hosting a home World Championships in 2017 and then a home Paralympic Winter Games in 2018. But you are right, it does come a time where you need to start at least feeding in the next generation. It doesn't have to be wholesale change. I think that the most changes we've seen from any one side coming into this tournament is around half a dozen. And therefore the Koreans will start to, or need to start looking at that soon. Otherwise it will start to be wholesale changes if they look further down the line. But these are athletes that keep themselves very fit. Of course, a lot of them end up training at least 5 times a week. Some of that might not just be for this sport, but generally their own mental well-being and physical well-being. But they do make sure that they are kept at their optimum fitness levels, despite how difficult that's been in the last year or so. But we've also seen, as you say, how difficult it can be to bring through the next generation. I think we've seen Norway try and do that, of course, losing a rock, a man mountain, in the form of Rolf Einar Pedersen, one of the best players the game's ever seen. And they've had to try and replace him. They've brought in a few youngsters, and you can see the building blocks have been put in place from them. And yeah, it's only a matter of time before we have to start seeing that from the Koreans. In the short term here, Alan, in this bronze medal game, they do have the advantage of the call from Bobby Esposito there. It's a tripping call. Obviously, tripping by its name, not really something you can apply to para ice hockey when they're all in sledges, but unfairly unbalancing an opponent, I think it is fair to say what comes under that. And therefore the Koreans have a 5-on-4, and they've had one already in this game, not made the most of it. In fact, I think they spent most of it inside of their own zone. RPC, very effective, even when they've just got 4 out on the ice, because no doubt it'll be their 4 best skaters. And Terentev's certainly one of them. That man could just go on and on and on and on and wide. Well, he's back in the middle to try and get the loose change here if it comes his way. That's work from Shikov. And the Koreans have done well. Of course, they had a smattering of good play towards the end of the second period, which they have to take heart from. Just a pass like that. Just a tad too short, a tad too weak. And Kim Young-sun had already strayed over the blue line. And they'll be thinking about the long journey home. I think, Alan, their bodies probably were thinking about that as soon as they finished against the United States. Although that's a hit from Choi Kwang-hyuk on Myatchin, just to let RPC know that the Koreans are still there. But it's been an arduous week for every nation involved in these championships, and credit to every single one of them for giving all they've got, yet for their own glory and for their own professional pride, but of course for ours and for your entertainment as well.
Just going back to you explaining the tripping, I suppose better off just keep it as tripping than slightly tipping somebody off balance. It's a lot of graphics to put up in the top left corner of the scoreboard, isn't it? So tripping will probably do.
It is, and from my part of the world, Alan, 2 syllables usually works a lot better as well.
Imagine trying to explain it all every time at the top of the board. Well, he slightly pushed him off balance, so that's penalised. Tripping will do. You're absolutely right. The Koreans here, they've entertained us, not just here at these World Championships, but over the past decade or so. They've really put in some shifts, and it's why we know them as defensive, workmanlike, stout. They're all terms and phrases you use for them, but just here in this tournament, they've only been those things against the Czech Republic and Norway, against Canada, against the US twice, and now against RPC. We're unfortunately using words like sluggish, off the pace, and still without a goal is a phrase that we've used too often for them as well. But they're still working hard, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It wasn't necessarily that they are not in good shape. They are. It's whether they are at the speed and at the level of those around them. And the simple answer to that one is they are not. We can see that. 8-0, 8-0, 9-0. And here, in this game, currently struggling with 5 past them. We're going to go for a break. South Korea, do they have a goal in the final game in them? We'll find out together in a few moments. Less than 10 minutes to go. You can forgive RPC's players and bench for starting to think about receiving their medals, but not just that, they'll be thinking about Beijing as well. I'm sure in the aftermath of yesterday's game, already their attentions and their conversations have been turned into, so what do we do next time differently to what we did this time? It was a narrow of narrowest defeats, of course. They gave Canadian defenders some worrying moments. Just didn't find a way of penetrating one more time here. Been too easy at times. This is picked up by Young. He takes a bit of a whack for his troubles, but he's now one of 2 white jerseys in and around. He just does a flick from the outside of the stick towards goal. Oh, and that was very important. It was Lee who just had to jab at that to make sure that he wasn't beaten. Miachin, he has it taken off him. That's good play. Cho into the centre. Hammered away and over the blue line. And then just whipped around the boards. Offside was too obvious. Less than 8 minutes now, Jono, and this one might just fizzle out.
Could do. Seen so often in the past, bronze medal games been in very fit warm-up for the gold medal game. No doubt that United States and Canada, despite how tired they may well have been through their semi-finals, they will have also had, of course, prior to that semi-final yesterday, a couple of days rest as well. So they should be all fired up and ready to go. I'm sure some of the fighting talk that we've heard in the last few days has been that they've still got more left in the tank. That we ain't seen nothing yet. Let's hope that's the case. For a neutral perspective, it promises to be a sensational occasion. And of course, you can catch it all with us this evening from the Ostrava Arena, where RPC, after that game, will be picking up their bronze medal as well. And what an emotional occasion it will be for them. Not just as a programme, but for them as athletes individually. They'll have been brimming with pride and excitement to be back on the world stage and to have been as fearless and largely faultless as they have been during this campaign. Plenty of standout performers. I think their focus in these last few minutes should be trying to secure their spot, or one of them securing their spot as top scorer of these championships, because Brodie Roybal and Tyler McGregor will have opportunities to add to their tallies, of course, later. And they're not far from top. As RPC, well, they're boasting in those rankings. They're going to get another goal. No, they won't. No, it's not been given. Bobby Esposito just stretched out his arms either side of his body there and seemed to me to suggest no goal. There was, of course, carnage that ensued afterwards. Bit of chippiness between both sets of players. Bobby Esposito is going to phone a friend once again to see exactly what the call should be for this goal. It's good till this point. Was it in the custody of the goaltender? Malitsky certainly ruffled a few Korean feathers. He faces the heat of the Korean barbecue, Alan, and we're going to find out what the video referee has to say.
Here we are. That's another interesting one. Bobby has been kept busy, mostly with trying to figure out how to get that face mask on with his helmet, but he's figured it out now. He's going to take a look at what we've just seen. We're going to see it from a different angle here. Is that... is that in his possession? I know the officials seem to make a decision quite early. Does he bump it out of that glove?
Yeah, it might be what happens more with the body and the sledge than it is the stick. And the decision stands, no goal. Good refereeing from Bobby Esposito. Didn't think it was a goal, but was able to have a look at it just to firm it up. And I think that will get him some plaudits all round. Good refereeing. I mean, I think we've seen strong, clear refereeing all week, Alan, which has been great for us as commentators, seeing as though we've not been in the venue all week. It's been important that, of course, the officials are able to communicate every decision they make to everyone, not just on the ice, but in the arena and beyond as well. And I think fair play to them in that respect for the championships.
No, I think also, before we all get a bit too soppy, well done for what has been a fantastic broadcast. I have to say, it's not great us having to do it from our homes and hotel rooms, but hopefully you guys watching from wherever it is in the world you've decided you're a fan of para ice hockey from, we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. Been some fantastic camera work. We've seen some great replays, and they have covered the emotions and the highlights really well. So well done to the team actually at the venue. There's no trick for remote filming these days just yet. We are the ones that didn't have to be there. Being there is something that Petrov has done on numerous occasions, and he feeds that back towards the house. And well, this time the door's locked. Back up the ice it goes. Is this the number 6? No, it's not. Sticks everywhere. A little pushing again. And being penalised. He's number 10. I think that was what he mouthed. Might not. It might have been 9, but either way, there's a red jersey going in the box. We'll be watching again in a few moments. It's 5-0. Join us in just a moment. Was indeed number 9. I'm going to have to get my skills sharpened for lip reading. I could have swore that Bobby Esposito said 10, but apparently 10 and 9 look quite similar. I know they don't. Thrown forward in hope here into the corner for Korea. Just over 4 minutes remaining. That penalty for charging from Kamzin. Charging at Choi Hyuk-yun. Oh, well, and charging is Lisov. It's another. Absolutely phenomenal. Lisov has a 4th here. That gives him 8 in total in the goals for column. I think it's all too simple. Petrov just floats it across. Not a white shirt in sight. And Lisov today has been cooler than a Zambo in his belly. Oh, another chance. Almost immediately. This one is saved and dived on. And again, pop off. A little bit too close for the netminder's liking. 6-0, Jono.
Yeah, it's... you talk about charging there from Lisov. Well, he's charging up the scoring standings, isn't he? He's... like you say, 8 goals, joint top now with Terentev and McGregor. He's got those assists in the bank as well, which takes him to 14 points overall. Terentev started this game on 15 points, so there's almost a bit of a battle between the RPC ranks there. What we're seeing here, though, Alan, it's another Korean power play, and you just wouldn't know, would you? And I think we've exhausted the travails of career enough in this game. I think RPC deserves a tremendous amount of credit. They have just been mesmeric at times. A real joy. Oh, that's a really good save. Kazatkin there was a big bear in the RPC goal. And it was a paw, or it was something that he got on that to stop the Koreans getting a goal back. It was a lovely play in front from the Koreans. But they unable to register what would have been a 5th goal of these championships for them. Of course, only the Czechs have got less, as RPC are back to full strength and back on his Kamzin, just sneaking on from the far side, but he was quickly found out by Korea. Well, final 2 minutes now. What is going to be the final swan song from these two sides from a week of real graft? And as far as RPC are concerned, a graft that will result in a bronze medal. Which, if you're not from North America, in recent times it's as good as you can get in para ice hockey, but I would not rule them out going one higher in Beijing next February. And here they come for a final charge. Terentev. Oh, wow. That's got to be the best of the lot from him. It's the 9th of these championships, and he oozed class and composure. And the most nonchalant of flicks over Choi Hyuk-yun, who to date had quite a good period. But Nikolai Terentev has put out his personal fire. That may have took a nick on the way through, but it is a gorgeous goal.
Just hanging on the shoulder, wasn't he, of Sokolov, and then he just flicks it up. Nonchalant, as you say. Sokolov taking a tumble at the end. He won't care one iota. Yep, it was always up and over. It just came off the shoulder. Oh, Choi Hyuk-jung, but this one was over as a contest a while back. The contest then was whether we can score an absolute beauty, and they did. Terentev up to 9 then, so he goes 1 ahead of Lisov once again. 2 ahead of Petrov. There's a charge on here, maybe for some more. No, icing called. 1:09 remaining here in the bronze medal contest. And there he is, the man with 9. Sokolov, lovely little layoff. And he just had the puck under his spell before lifting it just about the exact right height. It got a little helping shoulder. And now there's another chance here. Will they get to this before it reaches the goal line? No, so they have to go around and try and do something different. Coming out to this near side, there's a stick all over the place there. Not sure whose that belongs to. Round the back they go once more, 44 seconds. Will they add an 8th here? It will be a third 8-0 defeat if they do for the Koreans. They may well have just avoided that, or have they indeed? Popov. He lays it inside. This will be a shot coming in. It goes by the right-hand side. Popov again. He's got Rychkov in support. Lisov loitering. Galkin helping. And it's just flicked towards the goal. Well, with just 4 seconds remaining, it's going to remain 7-0. And there are the slaps of the sticks against the floor. It is not just job done, it's a job well done from Team RPC. Jono, these guys here, they look tired, they look shattered. They get 4th place and a ticket to Beijing, but they need to regroup a little on and off the ice, get some injured players back. RPC 7, South Korea nothing.
Yep, credit to RPC, who of course started their campaign this week with a 7-0 against Slovakia a week ago. And little did we think that they'd be reproducing that scoreline in a bronze medal game against the Republic of Korea, who for the last 4 years have won 2 World Championship bronzes and a Paralympic bronze as well. But they have had to make way on this occasion to, quite bluntly, a better side in RPC, who have only been bettered by Canada on their route to today's finals day. And they will be at Beijing next year, and they will be there as the 3rd top seed. Best side outside of North America. The Republic of Korea have held that acclaim for so long, and that man has been at the heart of everything good they have done in that time as well. Jung Sung Hwan, it's not been his tournament. He's been able to get a couple of goals. Let's not forget the overtime strike he got against Norway in the quarterfinals. That was as high as it got for Korea. That was enough, of course, for them to book their spot at the next Paralympic Winter Games. But it's all about RPC and their captain, who's led them to bronze. Dmitry Lisov comes up with 4 goals in the bronze medal game. And didn't he deserve that? He'd scored 4 on the route to today. He doubled that tally in the bronze medal game itself. Big well done to him. And a big well done to RPC. No dignitaries on this occasion, as RPC will get straight to the anthem after winning bronze here in Ostrava, the 2021 World Championships.
An applause that was very much deserved here in the Ostrava arena. Lisov, fittingly the man to lead the line here as captain, but not only as captain, as the man that has bagged himself 4 here in the bronze medal game. They've certainly got players that can rise up. They have returned to the world stage. They've returned to the A pool, and they have a return of the medals that they last won in 2015. Han Min-soo knew how to play on the ice. He's got to figure out how to manage off it. He and his players will rest their weary bones before the long journey back to their homeland. As for these gentlemen, it'll be all smiles. I'm sure both sides will watch on for the final later. Knowing Ruslan Batirsin, he'll be watching and taking notes. It's not just about going out there and competing, it's about learning where you can. It would have been an amazing experience for them yesterday in that semi-final against Canada. They will have learnt so much, not just about the opposition, but about themselves and maybe how they can improve. But they'll take the bronze, first time of asking. But don't be overly surprised if they want more than that when they get to Beijing. Believe these boys will head straight back and start practicing and start trying to make themselves stronger, better, and more equipped to take on those two giants. Talking of those two giants, it's still to come. USA, Canada, one big final. We've seen this story a million times. The ending isn't always the same. We'll find out later on which version of that story it is. Here today, that bronze medal game is done. We've seen a cracker of a 5th-6th playoff game. The Italians ended on a high in the 7th, 8th. But the week of action culminates in the final between Canada and USA. Today, it's their day. It's Team RPC day as they brush past South Korea by 7-0 to take the bronze. We'll see them a little later. They'll receive their medals after the main final. For now, they will enjoy themselves out on the ice. Seven goals is what RPC gave us. Lisov, 4 of those for the captain. Thanks for joining us for this bronze medal game. We'll be back with you, myself, Alan March, Jonathan Bell, for the final coming up of Ostrava 2021 World Para Ice Hockey Championships. Goodbye.
We can? Perfect. We are with Dmitry Lisov, RPC's captain. Congratulations, first of all, on the bronze medal. How is the feeling after the game?
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good feeling, you know. With medal, this is better than without medal. And we're happy that after 5 years, we have medal. We have big medal in the big tournament. So now we're happy. Yeah, but a little bit we are sad because we're not in a big final. No, but how I said a few minutes ago, with medal that's better.
You won a medal, but you also qualified for the Paralympics in Beijing next year. What's your goal for that competition? You showed us in this competition that you can play against Canada, USA, those teams, that you can be equal to them.
Yeah, you know, if we want to be better, we have to play with good, better teams. So we're happy to play with Canada. We played with Canada 1 game. Unfortunately, it was just 1 game, but this is good for if we take some nothing. It's good, better.
Thank you very much.